Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds. And it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else. These 3 things are concepts to fully understand that will take you to not only the full-on transformation that you want, but it will make working out so much easier. It'll make tracking macros so much easier. It'll make checking in with your coach so much easier. These concepts are so important for you to be successful, and they are the behavior change that will drive the transformation that you want to accomplish. Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Macro Hour with Nikki Stott, co-founder of WarriorBabe. And on this podcast, we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I am your host, Nikki Stott, and welcome to today's episode 151, where we're going to talk about, I think personally, 3 of the most important concepts that one needs to understand when they are committing fully to a transformation journey. Okay. I probably said it time and time again. I know I say it to our coaching team. I know I say it to our clients inside of WarriorBabe. That, following a nutrition protocol, following a workout programming is like the tip of the iceberg, okay? The thing that everybody sees you doing. They see you trying to eat better. They see you trying to work out. They see you trying to, stick to a schedule. They see you saying no to things, whatever it may be. They see you making excuses if they're making excuses. They see all the things. It's the tip of the iceberg. Everybody sees that kind of stuff happening. But the bottom of the iceberg, you guys, is probably... Actually, it is one of the most important things that encompass willpower, discipline, perseverance, resilience, follow through, taking action that people don't see. Or maybe they do see it, but they're so just focused on what program are you following and what workout program are you doing. But the bottom of the iceberg is the conscious awareness you bring to doing those things and getting the results and getting the transformation. And so the 3 things I want to talk about today, I feel like, are 3 of the most important things that if you follow through on all 3 of them, and they all interlock together. But if you can nail down the 3 of these, then apply the macros and the workouts, that's your ticket to transformation. And the 3 things I'm going to talk about have absolutely nothing to do with nutrition, absolutely nothing to do with fitness, absolutely nothing to do with working out, picking up a dumbbell, going in and crush your, workout that you have planned. But they are a driving factor to you following through on those things. So anyway, I think personally, the 10 years I've been in the fitness space, I've been on my fitness journey, I have coached thousands of women, and now I'm coaching a team of 60 plus coaches on our WarriorBabe internal, behind the scenes, that are making the impact to these women. If there's anything I can narrow it down to ultimate transformation and ultimate success of someone starting from ground zero to getting and achieving the biggest results that they have ever achieved from following a program, it's these 3 specific things. And again, they all interlock. So you can have 1 or 2 of them, but then the 3rd one is what will propel you the fastest and literally take you on a neural pathway to where you want to be right now. Okay? So I think the 3rd one is it's also one of the hardest ones to do. A lot of people think it's woo-woo-ish. And I'll talk about that in a second, a little bit when I get to 3. But I think it literally has scientific evidence that if you can do that thing, and I can talk to this too as well because I've experienced it firsthand, but you can do tremendous things and have a tremendous transformation locking in all three of these. But the third one I think is the most important one. You can definitely have 1 and 2, but the third one will propel you there much faster. And again, this has nothing to do with macros. This has nothing to do with workouts. But these types of concepts, once integrated into you as a human, can literally make macros so much easier, can make workouts so much easier, can make you getting to the results so much easier. So let's first talk about the first one. And when I talk about this too, I want to include a personal insight from my own personal experience. I think I'm going to probably do that in all three of these. But the first one I would talk about is self-discipline. It's literally the engine behind your daily choices and your actions. It is what keeps you adhering to your fitness routine, your nutrition plans, even on the days when your motivation is low. So all of the time people are like, how do I get more motivation? I'm like, you don't. Motivation ebbs and flows. Motivation is an emotion. Motivation is going to come, it's going to go. And constantly, so many people are waiting for motivation to start a plan or start following through on their nutrition or start following through on their workouts. The concept of discipline is what you need to understand. The concept of discipline is what will keep you adhering to your fitness and nutrition plans when motivation is low, motivation is not there. It's about making decisions that are in alignment with your long-term goals and the results that you want to accomplish, rather than just giving in to what feels right and good at the moment. I mean, for example, those of you guys that hit the snooze button in the morning when you know you should be getting up to work out, what's in alignment with the action, with the long-term result that you want? Getting up and working out. But so many of you guys feel so good and comfy underneath of that blanket in your bed, and you just stay there because it feels good in the moment, and that's not discipline. Developing self-discipline means that you need to build mental strength to push through temporary discomfort for lasting gains. It literally, discipline can influence everything from how you handle nutritional choices to whether you skip workouts or don't skip workouts, to whether you hit the snooze button or you don't hit the snooze button, to how you prioritize your time and your resources for you to achieve your optimal health and the results that you are after. This literally comes down to discipline, not motivation. And so I want to share a bit about like my own journey in this, because I will be the first one to tell you that I am not always motivated to do the things that are required of me for success. In fact, like anybody else, you guys, I have days where I'd rather do anything but follow through on my commitments. Seriously. However, I can attribute 99.9% of my success to my discipline. I act despite how I feel. Despite how I feel, I act. This discipline has literally been a cornerstone of not just reaching my goals, but exceeding them. When I was in the bodybuilding space, when I was first starting out on my journey, do you think that I literally had to train an obscene amount to achieve a goal of stepping on stage? And not only just to step on stage, but what I wanted to do was go pro. And then I had the goal of beating the pros. Do you think that there was days along my journey where I did not want to go to the gym, where I did not want to eat another chicken, rice, and broccoli meal? Absolutely. But do you know what I acted? I followed through on the discipline and the actions that I knew I had to take despite how I felt. And literally, because I followed through on that, because I worked on this muscle every single day, discipline doesn't happen overnight. Discipline is something that is a skill set that can only grow stronger when you apply it. And I'll be the first one to tell you that me going into the body, the only reason why I will ever say bodybuilding is an amazing feat to take on is because of the discipline that one has to endure going through that type of journey. The results, I could care less. The winnings, I could care less. The mental fortitude that I had developed and grew and applied and then bettered that skill will serve me for the rest of my life. So mainly, it's all about acting despite your feelings. So if you guys want to lean into somebody else that is very big on this, and he's like my role model when it comes to discipline, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to just being an overall badass, his name is Jocko Willink. He has this book called Extreme Ownership, and then he has another book called The Dichotomy of Leadership. But the extreme ownership for majority of you guys who want to go get these types of results, but you're blaming external factors and situations, and you're basically like landing every type of excuse that is just stopping you from achieving the goals. The book Extreme Ownership will get you to think differently about how you're blaming everybody else around you and not taking extreme ownership for your life. The second that you take extreme ownership for your life, the second you are taking the responsibility of accepting the fact that everything that is laid out in front of you on a day-to-day basis is in your control. And you have the ability to make decisions on whether or not you're going to eat this food or not, whether or not you're going to go to the gym or not. It doesn't matter about time. It doesn't matter about kids getting to soccer practice. It doesn't matter about any of the external factors around you, because you have the control of saying when you're going to do the things that are in alignment with your goals. Anyway, that's like a side note. Extreme Ownership is a great book, but he's one of the reasons why I learned about him only a couple years ago. But I love everything he says, because you have to act despite how you feel. And that is a principle that has driven every success that I've encountered along the way. Now, cultivating a disciplined mindset involves understanding, and this is how they're interlocked together, the deeper why behind your goals. I've talked about the why of why you want to pursue said type of result that you're going after in many of the podcast episodes. I think there's probably like 2 dedicated solely to figuring out what your why is. And then I've just always brought in that concept of understanding your deeper why, because it's not just about looking a certain way, you guys. It's about valuing your health and your future and optimizing your well-being for longevity. And most importantly, it's about right now being proactive about your health in future years than reactive when you are told that you have a diagnosis or you have a health scare. Right now, you're to be proactive about it. But the way to be proactive about it is to have a deeper understanding of what your why is, and then being able to deploy on the discipline aspect that I just talked about. But the mindset that helps you to stay the course, even when the external motivations fade, is when you have a deeper understanding of what your why is. Self-discipline also involves being able to adapt, being able to respond to life's challenges with a focus on solutions rather than obstacles. And it means that you have to adjust your plan when needed, but always keeping your eye on the prize. And what is always going to keep your eye on the prize is when you have an understanding of why you're doing the thing that you want to be doing, or the why you're wanting to achieve said result, and having that eye on that prize. You have to have the discipline to follow through on it, but you have to know why you're doing it. And whenever I ask anybody about what their why is, it's like, oh, well, I want to lose weight, and I want to look good in a bikini. Well, it doesn't all pertain to just wanting to look a certain way. And so I always say very bluntly, I'm like, that's, respectfully, that's a freaking awesome goal. However, it is so superficial and surface level. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm just being blunt and honest, but I want to get a level deeper with you. Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to look good in a bikini? Why? And I will ask it until I get a deeper understanding of me to get an understanding if I'm coaching you, but also for you to articulate the words so that you fully understand it too as well. And I think that is one of the most important parts. Second to discipline, your why is a heart of your fitness journey. It's the reason why you started this path, and it is the anchor that keeps you grounded when the going gets tough. It's not just about achieving the certain look that I keep mentioning. It's about realizing a vision for your life. And reconnecting with your why is so crucial, especially when your motivation wanes and you have to tap into the discipline muscle that you're working to build but it's not that strong yet. And so when you have the backbone of your why, the two of them married together are going to make you propel forward on that action. You're going to pull, and I'm going to talk about this in number 3. You're going to pull energy from that vision that you are realizing that you want for your life and for your body and for all of the things that come with it. You're going to be able to naturally pull energy from that. And that is going to make you take actions that you need to take today that is in alignment with that vision. And when you have that, and when the discipline wanes, or when it's not just that strong yet, and the routines that you're in become so familiar, and then obstacles appear, it's remembering your why that's so vital, that reinvigorates your discipline and makes you take action. So if you are somebody that's like, okay, cool, like I know I need to work on my discipline, like I know that I need to act despite how I feel, not let my emotions get in the way, take extreme ownership, like all the things I talked about when I was talking about discipline. But you're unsure about how to reinforce discipline through your why. So one way to work on your discipline that you need to develop this skill set is renewing your commitment. Every day, remind yourself of the reasons why you embarked on this journey, and then remember the feeling that you want to get to when you are accomplishing that goal, which I'm going to talk about that actually number 3. So just renew your commitment to yourself, okay? And then reflect on your progress so far. Look back at what you've already either achieved or accomplished, and look back at maybe what needs to change in order for you to be more disciplined, okay? And then how to integrate your why into this is think about what you have accomplished so far and how your why has driven those successes. Then daily, think about how to marry this all together right now as I'm saying this out loud to you guys. And also leaving it up into interpretation of how you need to do this for yourself, and not just telling you exactly what you need to do, because what I'm battling internally here with right now, and then also saying the words out loud, and I'm just going to be totally transparent with you, is I'm learning that I can't pave the 100% path forward for you, because that 100% path forward may not be the way that you are meant to go about your journey. And so I can lay out, mile 1, mile 2, mile 3, mile 4, but you need to be open to possible turns and possible, detours. And, being able to adapt to those things. So as I'm saying these things, I'm like, I want to be able to say all the things that you should be doing right now, but also leave it up into interpretation for you to figure that out. Because if you can figure that out and you can listen to the things that your the voices, that your intuition, I should say, which is another very hard thing to conceptualize and tap into. But if you have a strong sense of that, and that thing is telling you day to day what you need to be doing and how you can get stronger discipline and how you can understand what your true why is, those are the ways that you need to go, okay? So you can take what I'm saying here and apply discipline strategies and apply why strategies, but at the same time, it's like you need to figure out how you're going to develop your own personal discipline muscle. Whether, for me, I think it's better to just actually talk about personal rather than me telling you mile 1, mile 2, mile 3. Personally, the way that I got so good at discipline and building that skill set through the bodybuilding world and how it's carried on through, literally in every aspect of my life, when it comes to work, when it comes to conversations, when it comes to anything, my discipline taps in. Especially when it comes to sitting it down and doing work that I don't want to do, but I know I need to do it because it's going to better the system for not only me, but my team. But the way that I developed, how I got stronger at it is literally every time that and this is different for everybody, but personally me, every time that I either fucked up or I messed up or had a mistake or, second to it being an opportunity to learn to reassess, which is how my discipline got better, I would always get frustrated at myself. and to know that I could do this way better. And if there was a situation where I missed a workout or I missed a meal when I was in the bodybuilding world, I took extreme ownership for the thing that was happening. And when I took extreme ownership for the thing that was happening, why I missed a workout, why I missed a meal, answers came to me to make the next situation that I was in that potentially would make me miss a meal, make me miss a workout. It gave me answers to better handle that next circumstance. Hey, just want to drop a huge appreciation to you guys listening to the show. It means a lot. I hope you guys are enjoying it, and there's so much more to come with it. If you are enjoying it, hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate that tons. And also, it would help this podcast reach others who need to hear these messages too. And then also just like acting despite how I feel. There's been moments so many times where I did not want to work out. And this is probably the one that will resonate with you guys the most, where you didn't want to work out. And you're either going to be, if you don't work out, you're going to be mad at yourself. If you do work out, that is you seriously working on developing the skill set of bettering your discipline, because you will feel how good it feels afterwards, how to get it done, that you kept the promise to yourself. But at the same time, it's like the second that you just go in and you do the thing, despite being stressed at work, and then you have to go work out, you are now not allowing that type of feeling to persist, essentially, I guess you could say, if I'm like saying that a bit right. Like, if you are ever to have that feeling more and more and more where you don't feel like working out, the more that you act upon actually working out, that feeling of not wanting to work out will lessen, and it won't be as strong. Does that make sense? I think that's the best way I could totally explain it. But anyway, okay, so marrying your discipline, bringing it back. Marrying your discipline, marrying your why. And some ways that you can integrate reminders of your why into your day is, making it the background of your phone. Whatever your why is, make it the screensaver. Put a Post-it note next to your mirror as you're getting ready, so you see it. Or put a little note next to you in your driver's seat of your car, where when you get in your car, it's something that you see first thing. And that way you're reminded, like, you may not want to work out that day, but you're reminded why you're doing what you're doing and why you want to accomplish said goal. And so there it is, reminding you that will carry you on throughout the rest of the day to make sure that you go and get your workout in. Or when you don't want to work out and you see that there in your driver's seat and you're like, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to go work out, that'll help you to go follow through on the action. Okay? So discipline and why, right? Those are two very important aspects to understand and concepts to implement that will help you to carry out the actions of tracking your macros, getting your workouts done, doing all of the things, following through on a program. Have discipline and understand why you're doing it. The last thing, listen, I want to explore this concept with you, and I promise you it is not woo-woo stuff. It is such a powerful exercise that if you implement it, can be so freaking transformational. So stick with me. And I only know that because when I was embarking on when I started on my fitness journey, I did this without consciously understanding that I was doing it. And then when it came to achieving my goal, it all was it all just snapped right in front of me. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is the tool that you should explore that is so powerful for your journey is visualization. And I said, people will be like, oh my God, that's so woo-woo. Manifestation, da-da-da-da. That shit is real. Specifically, you trying to connect the dots between your discipline, your why, and then the vivid picture of your future self. If you can visualize your future self and how this vision can inspire your actions today, that is an absolute game changer. As I mentioned, I was consciously competent in this concept when I first started out my journey. And I, day in, day out, morning, night, always held, I'm a very picturesque person in my mind. I see things and concepts and I see them all in pictures. I see things in pictures. So when I started out my journey, I didn't have this type of body that I was visualizing in my head, but I had this vision in my head of where I wanted to go and the body that I wanted to have. And it as I say that, it's like, it probably sounds like more like daydreaming and than it is about success, but It's so much more than that. It's a proven technique that literally scientifically backed that athletes and high achievers use to enhance their performance and actualize real life goals. By me vividly imagining where I want it to be, you can do the same thing. By you envisioning where you want to be, you can engage the same neural pathways, neural networks, as if you were actually performing those actions. So this process, if you implement it, it not only prepares your brain for the actions necessary to achieve your goals, but it also reinforces the discipline needed to get there. So for me personally, I had this visualization. I had this idea of where I wanted to go with my body. And what I'm going to dive into next is like the things that you can like help to paint that picture. But basically what I did on a day-to-day basis is that I envisioned what this person was doing, what she was wearing, how she was acting, how she was following through on things. And it prepared my brain for the actions necessary to achieve the goal. But at the same time, it also helped me to reinforce discipline of the things I need to change now that would help me get to that concept, that vision. First of all, you need to reconnect with your why. Okay, you need to understand your deep reason why you're here and doing those things, and why you embarked on this discipline. And then the why is the fuel behind your discipline, and that's what pushes you to wake up every early for all the workouts, to eat right, to track your macros, to persist even when you feel like giving up. Those are literally the foundation to build a detailed image of your future self. So at the beginning, I was talking about how like you can have two, but you in order to have all three, you have to have two of them. And in order for the third one to work, the two have to be working as well. So in order for this last one to work, the visualization, you have to understand your deep-seated reason why. And then the why is the fuel behind you developing the skill set of discipline. And with that, and you have that foundation, is then you build this detailed image of yourself. And I want to help you do that with you right now. So if you follow these steps to visualizing your future self, you will literally start to create neural pathways that will help you to take action today, literally. So first, you have to like close your eyes and picture your future self who has already achieved her goals. So I'm going to prompt you some questions. Close your eyes, picture that future self. I mean, if you're driving, don't close your eyes, but like do this at a different day or time. Like it's going to be in your brain. Listen to the podcast. Do this when you're falling asleep at night. What does that person look like? What does she look like? How does she feel? What is her daily routine? Imagine her strength, her confidence, and then also the health that she is radiating. Do that. What does she look like? How does she feel? What's her daily routine look like? Then think about what your future self does every single day. Okay, so first you have this image of her. And then what do you think she's doing every day? What habits does she have? How does she handle setbacks? Visualize the discipline she upholds and how every single action is aligned with her ultimate goals. And then what happens is now reflect on how your current actions align with those of your future self. What are you doing today that she does every day? How can you improve to align more closely with that vision? And then when you make this a practical part of your daily routine, you spend minutes each morning or evening identifying this future self, identifying what her actions are, and then trying to draw on inspiration from her, you will use this image to motivate your daily choices and actions. That success that you're envisioning inspire your present day efforts. Because how that person is operating and moving is completely different than how you are operating and moving right now. But you just visualize what she is doing, the habits she's doing, her daily routine, what she looks like, how she feels, how is she handling any of the setbacks. You just visualize how she was moving through that. And so if you can clearly see that or clearly answer those questions, then you can literally improve how you are moving and taking action today. So I want you to just that's a big thing to conceptualize and understand. But each time you do this, you guys, you're mirroring her actions now. So you're seeing it. And then all you need to do, and this is how you bridge the gap from future to now you can start seeing more actions and more results now, is by you mirroring her actions and doing it now. Okay? Because the future that you envision today shapes the reality that you live in tomorrow. By you visualizing your successful future self and then aligning your current actions with her habits, you bridge the gap between now and your goals. So what habits is she doing? Okay, cool. How can you align your current actions to those habits? How does she feel? Cool. How can you align your current feelings with how she feels? You literally are creating, you're bringing the conceptualization of a visualization that you have in your brain, and you're bringing it to reality. And that's how you bridge the gap between now and your goals. Not just manifestation, not just thinking that though, not just visualization. You then have to go take action. You then have to go and do the things, which is where a lot of resistance comes from, because it's something completely different than what you're doing now. A lot of things may change because you may be communicating differently than you are right now. But I'm telling you, that's the way you're going to get to where you want to be. So to end this podcast, because I just want to leave it at that, because I want you guys to get off of it and just be like, okay, these are the things. Like, if you can literally, like I said at the beginning, these 3 things are concepts to fully understand that will take you to not only the full-on transformation that you want, but it will make working out so much easier. It'll make tracking macros so much easier. It'll make checking in with your coach so much easier. These concepts are so important for you to be successful, and they are the behavior change that will drive the transformation that you want to accomplish. So, and know that it may feel scary or unsure, or what am I up against? Like, what am I going to face when I start, leaning into how that person feels or leaning into the habits she's creating? You are fully capable of achieving and crafting the future that you want for yourself. It is entirely in your control. It's just how willing are you to make the necessary changes that you need to make? How committed are you to your future self? All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Discipline, why, and visualization. Now go crush it. See you in the next one. Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds, and it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else.